So MAXXXINE is the third installment of Tai West's horror trilogy, the first one being the prequel Pearl, the second film being X, and this film being the sequel to X. In the film, we follow MAXXXINE, portrayed by Mia Goth, who after the events of X, moves to Hollywood, Los Angeles to get her big break in the film industry, although at the same time, there happens to be a serial killer called the Night Stalker who is on a bloody killing spree. Before I continue on with today's video, I just wanted to say welcome to my channel, everybody. For those of you who are coming by my channel for the very first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button to not miss a future video, whether it's a future review, a future reaction, whenever I'm coming your way, and join me on my journey to 10K subscribers and beyond, because believe me when I say this, guys, you are not going to miss the cool shit I have coming your way. And also, for those of you who are coming back to my channel, welcome back. You have no idea how excited I am to see your faces once again. Alrighty guys, so let's get into MAXXXINE.
Excellent!
For those of you who have been following me since 2022, that was when the films X and Pearl came out, you will all know that I really liked those first two films. So knowing I liked those two films, when I heard that there was going to be a third film called MAXXXINE, which focused on Mia Goth's character MAXXXINE from X, I got very excited. If there's something in particular that I have really enjoyed about these three movies in particular, is that each particular film is very different in terms of aesthetic, its presentation, how the overall mood and the overall feel of each film. And guys, I gotta tell you all, I had a really good time with MAXXXINE. The performances in MAXXXINE I thought were all very good. Whether it was Mia Goth as MAXXXINE, Giancarlo Esposito, who even though he doesn't have a lot of screen time, my god, he chooses the scenery really nicely. Also, Elizabeth Debicki, I thought was really good as the director who cast MAXXXINE in her film. I mean, the cast of this movie. Also, Kevin Bacon is in this movie, and you know what? For his limited screen time, he's also very good in the film too. The main star of the film is Mia Goth, and the best way I can describe Mia Goth is, well, as she says in the trailer,
You're a fucking movie star.
Mia Goth chews up every single scene in this movie, and she has such a great scene in this movie where she has this encounter in an alleyway, and it's one of my favorite sequences in the entire film, and Mia Goth is an absolute badass in this movie, and that is an understatement. One of the things that I really like about not only MAXXXINE, but just the entire trilogy alone, is the fact that all these films have different presentation styles. X feels like a grindhouse slasher film that feels like something like, I don't know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Pearl feels like a 60s movie that at the same time feels like a really demented and unsettling character study with the Technicolor vibe of, let's just say, a Walt Disney movie. MAXXXINE feels like with the aesthetic of a 1980s B slasher film, and I absolutely love, by the way, that Tai West embraced this look and how he really did go above and beyond to make each film feel aesthetically different. I absolutely loved that. The cinematography of MAXXXINE is just, to say the least, it's so fucking cool. Neon colors, neon backdrops, the reds, the blues, and just seeing the overall look of Los Angeles and LA in the 80s time period. It is such a cool looking movie. Something else I have to give huge praise to is the score and the soundtrack. MAXXXINE boasts such a kick-ass score and soundtrack. Once I heard that first song come in, I immediately did tap my feet on the theater ground, and I was just into it. And not to mention as well, Heather Bates brings such a really cool rock feel with this great synthesizer sound, and oh my god, Heather Bates' score combined with the soundtrack of this film, and you have a killer vinyl release waiting to happen. I'm serious, guys. Mondo, I'm talking to you specifically. I better see a really cool vinyl release, because I will buy that as soon as it's available. Like, it is that cool of a score. One more thing that I must mention is the practical effects and the gore makeup. Oh my god. One scene in particular, it involves MAXXXINE and a guy and a part of the body. I squirmed in my seat and I just went, oh, I felt that. Well freaking done.
Well, that's just fucking great!
While I definitely had a really good time with MAXXXINE, is it my favorite part of this trilogy? Unfortunately, it isn't. My biggest issue with MAXXXINE is the third act of this movie. Now, that's not to say that the third act is a bad third act, because it's a good third act, but here's the best way I can describe MAXXXINE. The first two acts of MAXXXINE are like watching a runner really hitting their stride. I mean, this runner is hitting its mark, you're having a great time, it's stylish, it's hitting every single mark possible, and you're having a great time. But then once the third act comes in, the runner starts to stumble, it starts to get a little bumpy, and it gets to a point where they're really struggling. While you're still having a fun time watch that runner the third act, you can just tell that the stride that runner is hitting is just not quite there in the third act. The third act does things in this movie that didn't really hit with me the way that the first two acts of MAXXXINE did. Something I must address here, do not worry guys, there will be no spoilers, so here we go guys. There was a certain reveal in MAXXXINE where I wouldn't say the reveal was a bad reveal, but it was a reveal that made me go, okay, let's see where this goes. Knowing where the film takes place and the time period, it made sense of what they were doing this reveal, but at the same time, I just wish that the big reveal this movie had my jaw dropped, where unfortunately, the big reveal just, it was cool. It was cool.
And here we go.
So overall, MAXXXINE is a damn solid third film in Ty West trilogy. While Pearl is my favorite out of these three, MAXXXINE is a really good time, and Mia Goth, a fucking movie star. All in all, I'm gonna give MAXXXINE a 3.5 out of 5. While MAXXXINE isn't my favorite entry of this trilogy, it is still a really good time with the movies. I hope you enjoyed my review of MAXXXINE. If so, please hit the like button, or if you dislike the review, hit the dislike button. If you guys want to see my previous two reviews, please click it right there or right there. And of course, until my next review or video goes live, I'll see you all next time.